Welcome to undergraduate course on Introduction to Geography of Tourism. Week 10, Module 10, Heritage Tourism Planning and Legislations. Lecture 3, Heritage Tourism Planning and Management in Americas. Myself, Dr. Kapil Kumar Gavaskar, Assistant Professor, Department of Geography, Institute of Science, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. So here, in addition to the previous lecture, I am going to focus on the heritage tourism and the management efforts in the countries of America. So these are the major contents: the introduction, cultural heritage legislation and acts in Brazil, heritage legislation and programs in Canada, key federal legislation and acts in Canada, heritage legislation and programs in the United States of America, cases of Bellingham and Whatcom Country, Washington. Introduction. Heritage tourism in the Americas focuses on balancing economic growth, jobs, revenue, infrastructure with cultural preservation, authenticity and local pride. So this is one of the prime attention of the heritage conservation efforts in the America, and particularly this is case of the United States of America. And the major connect we see here is that maintaining this balance, the economic growth in terms of the jobs, revenue, infrastructure, and this should comply with the cultural preservation of the areas. And this should be through the sustainable models involving community, government, art sectors, and emphasizing immersive visitor experiences. Managing sites for both resident well-being and tourist appeal, with special attention to indigenous heritage and diverse regional needs like Caribbean's diversification from sun and beach. So US heritage, if you look at particularly, so tourism here is guided by the major acts like National Historic Preservation Act (NHPA) and the National Heritage Areas Act, which focus on preservation and economic use with key programs like Preserve America, driving community-led initiatives and management plans through National Park Service for sustainable resource management and cultural storytelling, balanced with broader tourism strategies from agencies like the BLM. The cultural heritage legislation in Americas are very diverse. So I have taken here the few cases just to understand how this is in terms of its status and what have been the efforts behind it. So I have taken few cases here. This one is the cultural heritage legislation and acts in Brazil. Brazil's cultural heritage legislation centers around the 1988 Constitution, establishing IPHAN, National Historic and Artistic Heritage Institute, as the key body with major laws including Decree Law number 25, 1937 for tangible heritage and Decree number 3551, 2000 for intangible heritage. And they all focus on the registration, inventory, vigilance, and community involvement for preservation, aligning with the UNESCO's standards and the guidelines. So the key legislation and the frameworks in Brazil we see, and these are the following which I have highlighted here. One is Decree Law number 25, 1937. It's a fundamental law for tangible heritage protection, regulating the registration inscription process for immovable and movable assets. Second, the Federal Constitution of 1988, Article 216. It mandates public promotion and protection of cultural heritage, defining it broadly and empowering the government to use instruments like inventories, registration, and community collaboration. Decree number 3551/2000, it established the National Program for Intangible Heritage and its register, emphasizing community participation in identifying, safeguarding cultural expressions like folklore, music, and traditions. And law number 13.123/2015, it regulates access and benefit sharing of genetic resources and traditional knowledge, linking biodiversity with the cultural heritage. So these are the major frameworks of legislation which guide and govern the heritage conservation and preservation practices, which play a very major role in the tourism industry in Brazil. This is the another case, the heritage legislation and programs in Canada. Canada's cultural heritage legislation involves federal laws like the Cultural Property Export and Import Law, and this is based on the central level, and it focuses on immovable heritage protection, tax incentives, export control, alongside broader acts like Canadian Multiculturalism Act and the Department of Canadian Heritage Act, which guide the cultural policy, support diversity, and manage heritage sites like Parks Canada and indigenous cultures, with provincial laws also playing a key role in the local heritage sites. So key programs support museums assistance program, indigenous heritage, and national sites like those managed by Parks Canada, all under the umbrella of the Department of Canadian Heritage. Historic places are a source of national pride and reflect Canada's collective history. Approximately 13,000 sites have official heritage designation from various authorities in Canada. So these sites are owned by a mix of governmental and the non-governmental entities, including indigenous communities. Key federal legislation and acts in Canada. So we see this in terms of the Department of Canadian Heritage Act 1995. It establishes the department and defines its broad mandate over Canadian identity, culture, heritage, languages, and national symbols. Museums Act 1990 governs national museums, emphasizing preservation and public access to Canada's history or heritage. Library and Archives of Canada Act 2004 manages national archival and library collections. Cultural Property Export and Import Act regulates the movement of cultural property across borders, protecting significant artifacts. Canadian Multiculturalism Act, it promotes multiculturalism as a fundamental characteristic of Canadian society. And Indigenous Languages Act, it supports the revitalization and promotion of indigenous languages. This is the case of heritage legislation and programs in the United States of America. And we see here major significant effort in terms of these legislations. The one is National Historic Preservation Act of 1966, the cornerstone establishing the framework for historic preservation, including designating historic sites, creating the National Register of Historical Places, influencing how heritage sites are managed for public access. National Heritage Areas Act, authorities and standardizes national heritage areas, requiring detailed management plans, including interpretive and business plans for sites rich in cultural natural significance, fostering local stewardship. Historic Sites Act of 1935 established the National Park Service to preserve historic sites, objects, and the monuments for public enjoyment, forming the bedrock for federal heritage management. Preserve America Initiative, a federal program encouraging communities to use historic assets for economic development, promoting heritage tourism via grants and stewardship with over 900 designated communities. National Travel and Tourism Strategy, a broader federal plan involving agencies like BLM to promote domestic tourism, including heritage tourism, through better tools, marketing, and coordination. The key management and the policy aspects in the United States of America are management plans. So, NHAs require multi-year management plans with specific goals, implementation strategies, and interpretive plans to guide sustainable visitor use and resource protection. Advisory Council on Historic Preservation. It plays a key role in implementing policies like encouraging heritage tourism as a tool for revitalization, often in partnership with NPS. Sustainable practices. Legislation and programs emphasizing balancing economic benefits with long-term preservation, using local resources and managing visitor flow to minimize the damage. Community focus. Emphasis is placed on community involvement, local pride, and community diversification through heritage tourism, as seen in the Preserve America program. So these are the new and the existing developments in the United States of America. And if you look at the journey of this heritage-centered actions in America, we see this through this diagram. So in 1906, there has been Antiquities Act. Then in 1916, there has been Organic Act. By 1935, there was a Historic Sites Act. Then 1966, National Historic Preservation Act. Then 1990, we see the Native America centered program, Native American Grave Protection and Repatriation Act. And before that, we see Hansen-Senate Testimony 1988. And then at the same time of 1990, we have the US Global Change Research Act. And then we see in 2022, Inflation Reduction Act, and by 2023, National Heritage Areas Act. So this has been the major, trend of the heritage-centered actions in United States of America. This is one case of Bellingham and the Whatcom County, Washington. The program is focusing on this county of the Washington area and to revive and revitalize the local area. And focus is multifarious in terms of the business, tourism, and the basic infrastructure. And these some of the important points are discussed here. And this was a plan which was meant to be, took into process between 2018 and 2022. It's a very recent case of, heritage-centered development in the United States. So, Cultural Heritage Tourism Strategic Plan Overview. So, this plan aims to increase tourism and spending in Bellingham and Whatcom County through cultural and heritage attractions. It emphasizes collaboration among stakeholders to enhance awareness and visitation of local cultural venues and events. The project began with US $15,000 grant to create the strategic plan involving a core planning committee and a stakeholder advisory group. The planning process included stakeholder surveys, asset inventories, and the SWOT analysis to identify key strategies for the growth. Bellingham and Whatcom County offer a variety of cultural heritage attractions, including museums, historic districts, and the local festivals. And this is the richness of this area, where we see the variety of cultural heritage attractions. Buildings are there, shops are there, different kind of cultural features are seen here. And this involves all this, the museums, the historic districts, which is very rich in terms of the historical evolution of that area, and the local festivals. The communities, they celebrate their festivals and they cherish during the different seasons and different periods of the year. So that's why this region is home to significant cultural contributions from the Lumbee and Nushek tribes, enhancing the area's unique identity. So this whole is the strategic plan overview, and this was meant to develop this Wellingham and Whatcom country, which is now seeing a kind of degradation, and in terms of the development is not up to date. The area is often visited by the visitors or the tourists. It doesn't offer them the impressive experience. Rather, this area is very important historically, and this need to be developed in terms of the renovation, revitalization of the infrastructure, economy, and the basic facilities. So in this way, the community has to be brought on the board, the stakeholders have to be brought on the board, and this has to be done within the context of the legislative framework. So this case indicates how the community and the stakeholders participation can make the tremendous efforts to bring a change in the areas which are historically important, and how these areas need to be renovated in its multiple dimensions, so that can make this to be more attractive to the visitors or to the tourists. So this case in Washington is of a recent development, but that indicates how this has been carried over in terms of the major collaboration that has been playing a very significant role. So these are the cases, and one of these cases is the Bellingham and Whatcom Country in United States of Washington. So this is the new development in this area, and to develop this I have gone through these some of the references which I have used, and most of them are available online. You can access them and you can go little more in detail to get new things. Thank you so much.